Okay, guys. I'm going to have a little chat to you about smallest denominator. Now, I love this sort of conversation because it's how I build my accounts. And like most things, good stuff comes in little bundles, just like little Winky here. And that's why we call her Winky, because she's Tinky Winky person. She's only little, although she does have a couple of big assets. Because she's a monkey bitch, which is another reason why I like her. But what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of show you a poll that I put into the YouTube site. Now, if I come over here, if you come to the front page of the YouTube, Scruffy Trader YouTube rather, you'll find all the playlists, everything that I do here. But there's also a section called posts. Now, inside the posts, it's where I just dump things. And I did this particular survey, okay? And the survey is quite easy. Would you be happy with a 20% pay rise? It's not hard if you follow the markets. It isn't hard. I do it all the time, right? 100% said yes. But what it also represents is how people view the market as well. Now, you'll always have flippant remarks in one thing and another. But if you don't treat it seriously, you're never going to achieve what you're after. So you've got a little one here for Travis. I would love 50,000 a day as well. But in reality, it's for me, I couldn't do it. Even though I've got a good size account, there's no way I can do 50,000 a day. So what I would need to do is look at what my salary is and then scale it back a little bit. I hope that kind of makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of grab my phone and we'll get a calculator on it. So we'll just flick this across and we'll get the calculator. Okay, because I think you should be. Can you see that? Who knows? Or I'll tell you what. I'll flick it back to onto the screen and I'll use it on the screen instead. That might be a bit easier. Okay. So we'll flick this back over and we'll put a calculator on here so you can see it right. So let's just imagine you have 20,000 as your salary. Now, in the UK where I live, 20,000 is about base salary, national salary. And a lot of people look at these things and they think, oh, well, it's not a lot. But what if you had a 20% pay rise? Well, that's 4,000 quid, you know. So £4,000 in a year is a big difference. Family holiday, small car. It could actually be the difference between the breadline, paying your mortgage, etc. So let's just have a look at this. Well, if you've got £4,000 and you're going to do it across an entire year, are you going to work every single week? Well, the chances is no, you're not. You might work 10 months out of the year. So you're allowing yourself a month to be wrong and a month to have some time off. Okay. So divide it by 10. And this is basic stuff, guys. You're left with 400 quid. Okay. Now divide that by 4 as well and work on a 4-week point of view. So keeps things quite simple. So divide it by 4. So you're down to 100 quid a week. Well, you work 5 days on the charts. It's only a couple of trades at a time. Divide that by 5. You're down to 20 quid. You know, 20 quid is not that much in the charts. Not really. Would you be happy with 20 quid a day?
Well, extra, yeah.
What do you mean, extra? Well, yeah, extra on your salary.
Yeah.
You'd be happy. Would you save it or would you just piss it in the wind?
No, I'll probably save it.
Save it. She would actually, because she's tight f***ing bitch. Right. So we very quickly got down to 20 quid a day from 4,000. Even though we've established that 20% pay rise would be massive. But most people just snuff the nose when they hear 20 quid a day in the markets. It's bloody cat ass, that. It's shit. What are you dealing in pennies for? Because those pennies make £4,000. £4,000 is 20% of your salary. And the question is your boss going to give it to you? No. Is your boss going to give it to you?
Are you going to give me £20 a day?
I was hoping you'd say you're going to give it to me. Give it to me. Go on. Be naughty. Because it's the only reason I'm rich, you know, boys and girls. Because let's be honest, with a face like mine, there's no way Princess Fiona is going to want anything to do with that. She likes a big, fat wallet. Don't you, Pet? Was I handsome once? Am I still handsome?
You are.
Am I? Am I in like sort of a rugged way? You're pretty. Sorry, I was getting off on one for a moment there. Essentially what I'm driving at is if you break this down to the smallest denominator, it becomes relatively easy. So 20 quid a day, you've got a 500 account, £1,000 account. It's not difficult to do 20 quid a day. Not really. Now, if you haven't got 500 quid to start with, prop fund will help you. So look at the fivers, you'll see links in the description, etc. You can use their money to do your 20 quid. The trick is always about whether or not you're living in the real world or whether you're living in La La Land. See, if you're in La La Land and you're on a prop fund, that becomes difficult because you look at big numbers all the time and you get dazzled by them when really you should be looking at 20 quid a day, something like that. And if you're doing 20 quid a day, you're doing quite well. And it doesn't take long to pass you through your milestones because some of them that are about 500 quid, then it moves to 1,000, etc. Well, 5 weeks at 100 quid a week, you hit your milestone and you get paid. So there's that way of thinking of it as well. But let's just concentrate on the 20 quid in the moment. Now, let's just say you're on £1 a point. Got a £1,000 account. So £1 a point is now out of the realms of difficult. But you struggle to do 20 pips in a trade. But you can find 10, 11. Fine. Trade twice. One in the morning, one in the afternoon. Or one before you go to work, one you come back from work. Not difficult. Okay. You might be able to do 10 pips. Find that difficult. Well, fine. Then break it into 4 trades. 4 or 5 pip trades. 20 quid. See where I'm going? Constantly break it down into a simple process. And that simple process will then move into money. And that's why I tell you to follow the process, not the money. The money will always look after itself. You don't have to worry about it in the slightest. It'll just do its job. And once you start having that sort of method in your head, well, trading becomes so simple because you're not forcing trades. You just, I've done my 20 pips. I don't need to do anything more today. I've done 40 pips today, so I don't need to work tomorrow. Or I can have Friday off. I don't particularly like to work on a Friday, so I try and get a little bit more each day than what I need, and then I take Friday off. That's another way of doing it. But what I'm driving at is just break it all down to the lowest point, and anything you do above it is a bonus, and it helps you in the future. Anyway, it was just very quick, simply because I was tidying a few things off, and I get bombarded all the time about, oh, show me the magic pill, give me, give me, give me. Well, it's not quite as simple as that. You've got to do the homework. You've got to do the process. And if you haven't got the process, there's not a tool in the land that's going to help you. So put your process in place, understand what you can do and how you can do it. If you can do 20 pips a trade, amazing. If you can do 4 or 5 pip trades, amazing. But know when to quit. And if you know that, maybe one day you might hit 50,000 a day. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Do you like 50,000 a day? Be good, wouldn't it? You'd spend it, no, wouldn't you?
I would not.
You lie, bitch.
There's so much money to spend.
Is there? Well, you're having a bloody good go at finding out what the limit is.
Oh, but it's not 50,000 a day.
Fucking up, well, sure at times. Anyway, so there you go, kids. If you like it, do subscribe. Genuinely grateful. But as always, trade well, keep your risk managed. But above all, do what you love. And the money will follow. See you all in the next one.